The main theme of Halo is one of the more unique video game compositions. But what if I were to tell you that its iconic monk chant melody was influenced by the Beatles? Hello, and welcome back to Under the Tunes. Today we're taking a walk on the green side. Yes, we're covering the Xbox poster boy, Halo. The space epic that jumps from ground combat all the way to slightly off the ground combat. First person, car person's bird-eye tactical person view. The series has tried it all. But in its 25 years, the Master of Chiefs returns to his first outing again, in a new remaster. Indeed, it seems like last month's Star Fox and Halo have more in common than we thought. But with the interesting move to bring the Xbox mascot to the PS5, a whole new audience will be able to experience a newer version of the original 2001 game. But most importantly, we'll be able to experience the series' main theme in the context it was made for. Yes, for many, this theme was associated with boys' locker rooms and stairwells. So, let's give justice to the theme and see how it changes throughout the series, along with checking out other main themes. So, let's explore this beautiful WMD and unearth each tune. Alas, I've just been told that all the themes have been scattered across its landscape, and more importantly, just the first Halo map from Halo 1. So, we're going to have to scout around and unearth each one. And look, we've come across the original 2001 representation. The polish on this helmet is something else. Yes, the monk chants cue in tribal drums, harsh strings, and beautiful swells. A fantastically creative and audible divergence from the assumed future space battles to come. The first several entries of the series were co-composed by Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, but the story behind the main theme is fascinating. Halo, which was originally a third-person landscape combat game, was to be shown off at Macworld. O'Donnell pitched to go all out on a music track due to the scale of this presentation. To get around the game developers not allowing him the time needed for what he had in mind, he told them that he'd create the track in his own time, and therefore own it himself, and then would simply lease it out to them. Amazing pre-comp move. The main direction given to him from the Halo leads were ancient, mysterious, and epic. However, the tune the ancient monks were to open-mouth hum didn't come from some ye olde Christian script, but from O'Donnell's love for the rising and falling tones of Paul McCartney's vocals from the Beatles' 1965 song Yesterday.
As I was driving, I was thinking, well, I got to do a good hooky melody. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Ah, da 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 da. Ah.
A year and a half later, Halo Combat Evolved released on Xbox, and was an instant success, and work on Halo 2 kicked off. So, to find out what happened with the main theme, we need to take a walk through the woods to find our next crash site. Oh dear, well, this is a bit of a mess. Seems like it landed quite abruptly. But it looks like it all came out in one piece. So, what does the main theme to a cool looking new sequel sound like? Yes, this sudden rocking electric guitar was provided by American guitarist Steve Vai. It's an interesting one as the rest of the track stays the same. If it ain't broke but it's a sequel, and a rocking guitar. It's the rule of cool that works perfectly for the follow-up. Funny enough, this rock stance in this track and throughout the sequel's soundtrack did kick off a little bit of worry inside of Bungie, as if the composers had gone too wild or too big. Yet its soundtrack still holds up, and for many is the peak of the series. Now, what could be more controversial than an electric guitar? Well, would you believe it? For the follow-up and original end of the Halo main story, along with Master Chief, an emotional clean piano came to be an inclusion, which apparently had Xbox marketing team laughing at its use. Oh, would you look at this? This one has landed extremely well. What the hell are those things? This theme was the sound to just anything video game related after its first appearance in the 2006 E3 trailer. I was there. Yes, the track Finish the Fight brings in a more emotional intro with returning instruments like the strings and choir that all slowly bring us back to the beloved main theme. Which then gets the grander, larger orchestra treatment. You can literally hear the acoustics in the larger studio. Yes, Halo 3 was big, and the run-up to it was FOMO ground zero for my generation. If you hadn't picked up an Xbox 360 yet, this was your excuse. Yes, I even remember buying a Master Chief figure around this time due to the excitement. Hell, their live-action trailers directed by fledgling director Neil Blomkamp sent our IT classes into a frenzy. Our IT teacher literally started the class with the trailer on the main screen. This might have been the biggest media tease of all time. More on that later. And while Finish the Fight is a major Halo 3 track, we have to give a tip of the hat to the other key tracks that sort of makes up the unofficial Halo 3 suite. One Final Effort explores the main theme in a longer gameplay-centered composition, with that piano's inclusion throughout. Perfect for the insane final dash I remember so damn well. And the other track Never Forget, also known as the music you'd wake up to at 3 o'clock in the morning after falling asleep with the main menu running, is the mournful final to the trilogy that brings weight to the story so far. A theme that cues in the end to a giant space epic that was a first for a lot of us growing up. So, what happened after this? Was that it for Halo? Well, Bungie were working on some additional story content, originally called Halo Recon, which, seeing our path ahead, we may have to do a little bit ourselves. Yes, this DLC grew rather big, so much so that it splintered off into its own game, now titled Halo 3 ODST. Wait! Hang on. What is this? Oh, looks like we have a small game here that was almost missed. Halo Wars. Yes, the first Halo game to be developed by someone other than Bungie. Indeed, this top-down strategy game introduced a ton of Halo fans to an all-different gameplay style. And with this shift also came a different composer. The reins were handed over to Stephen Rippey for a tune that plays with the instrument box labelled Halo. We get that piano, choir, mid crescendos, and the main Halo chant. But we have this digital plinky plonky that weaves through it all. Definitely gives a more analyze the data vibe, one fitting for this kind of game. It's a safe score that fits into the world of Halo and the gameplay of a strategic military combat simulator. This won't be the last we see of this sub-series, so it'll be interesting to see if that digital flair makes a return in Halo Wars 2. Ah, we've come to the main chamber. It's all a bit moody down here. Oh, what is this? Looks like we've come across our next game representation. My goodness, it's blown a hole through the roof, like a damn bunker buster. And just like a bunker buster, the tone for this game was just as unexpected. And the live action trailer is a great way to advertise this. Yes, we have well and truly entered the era of these live-action trailers, which tease the idea of a Halo movie or something like that. It would be what you'd show your dad to make him understand that nowadays, games are more classy than brick game fault on the block console. Yes, the Halo series graced us with a good load of these. In fact, come back after this video where we'll take a look at some of them and exactly where this live-action universe led or didn't lead, along with some other stuff. So, what does a Halo theme sound like when you don't play as this hench dishy green giant? Well, we get a rainy night in the city that sways into a film noir detective story as we follow a group of troopers blown off course, now fighting to get back on track. Yes, the Halo franchise has been injected with some smoky jazz. The piano is back, and a saxophone is in full force. And it's all so moody in the best of ways. It's a grand departure from the main series, but the long string swells do form a tether to Halo 3's Never Forget. And if you have ever listened to the 1982 Blade Runner score, you can hear its influence on the more gritty side of things throughout ODST's quieter moments. It's the first time in the series where we don't get a reprisal of the Halo theme, and it's probably for the best, as ODST still remains as the unique entry into the series that showed audiences that Halo was more than just the giant space epic it had become. And focusing on these somewhat smaller scale stories was exactly what we'd see in Bungie's next release. Oh no! Looks like this one was dragged down here, has been beaten to a pulp. What a damn shame. For Bungie's last Halo foray, we focus on an elite squadron as they battle against the giant invasion of the military stronghold planet, Reach. This invasion was one that had been played out in a book set before the events of the first Halo game. And going on the novel's title, it's not going to have a happy ending. And this precognitive perspective is reflected in its main theme. Yes, the track starts as if it's scoring the scale of the invasion. This large threatening view on the horizon. To then find a moment to pause and refocus, deciding that even in the face of our inevitable doom, we push forward. The game's score dives into long string swells similar to ODST, but keeps these tribal drums as a reoccurring theme throughout. That harsh focus on pushing forward. And that's exactly what we're doing ourselves. Oh my goodness! Everything feels a bit unstable, almost as if some big transition is happening. This was the last Halo game composed by both Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, as they both followed Bungie and started to work on their next game, Destiny, where, funny enough, they actually got to work with Paul McCartney from the Beatles. But that's a story for another day. And look, we've made it back outside. What a lovely view. You can see so much of the Halo from here. Right, where were we? Oh dear. It seems our next one has landed harder than any of the past visual references. Wow, that's really in there. Definitely landed face first. With Bungie's departure from Halo and the series now in the safe hands of 343 Industries, a Microsoft division purposefully made to create Halo games. Yes, their name comes from the character 343 Guilty Spark, an AI overseer of the original ring seen in Halo Combat Evolved. It's a cute reference and has a nice narrative visual, but 343 Guilty Spark also killed off a beloved character in Halo 3, so it's an interesting choice all things considered. Thankfully, 343 Industries was in name only. Anyway, here's Master Chief in a poncho. Yes, this game brings it all back, the enemies, vehicles, and so on. Yet it all feels a little uncanny in a way only thousands of YouTube comments could describe. And the story, well, in the original series, it was all about the epic, the scale, and how it all came down to one man against the universe. Well, that's definitely how I felt. And while that's still present in Halo 4, there is now a more focused story between the Chief and his AI life companion, Cortana. She's past her sell-by date and is starting to go bananas. And this is what new composer Neil Davidge and Kazuma Jinochi focused on with the main theme. " 'Cause 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 ' Yes, the male monks are out and the nuns are in. I had to think about this. I wonder if this was a choice of choosing a more sensitive sound, or how the masculine monk choir represents the ancient Halo, a thing, and how this more feminine sound could represent an emotion between people. It's definitely a departure from O'Donnell and Salvatore's work, but it cues in the more emotional journey that Halo 4 wants to take players on. Also, the track ends with a lovely little salute to Halo 3's piano. I'm curious to hear what your take on Halo 4 and thoughts were on release versus now if you've recently replayed it. It has the stance of awkward first steps for 343 Industries, and it's clear they heard players' comments. As for the music, Halo 5 was a purposeful return to a hopeful form. Oh, look at this! We have two helmets. Yes, it looks like someone's put them up on these stones. Almost looks like they're smooching. Halo 5 Guardians takes things in a slightly different direction, as we have a campaign that sort of flips between two different characters. The Chief, and somewhat new character, Jameson Locke. Yes, we have this series Hunt the Freeman, as Locke and his squad are set off to kill our beloved character. Well, at least that's what the adverts told us. This extracurricular video is going to have so much good content. Well, the now solo returning composer Kazuma Jinochi took this opportunity to bring back the Halo theme fans had come to expect. However, while he wanted to musically represent Master Chief with his iconic soundboard of strings, monks, and more, an introduction of a synth aesthetic was present for the alternative player character of Locke. But with this main theme, that presence is lacking, and I think it shows an apprehension to stray too far from what they believe was expected. I would have loved to have heard an alternative version with that synth inclusion. It may not have worked, but it would have at least shown that there was a willingness to keep on trying. The campaign, while fractured between two protagonists, still brings back Cortana after she seemingly clicked and dragged herself to the recycle bin. This shit, put it in reverse attitude just after 343's first game is sad to see, but with a series as beloved and big as Halo, well, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. Although, despite it not being the official main theme for Halo 5, I did want to spotlight the track The Trials, as not only does it have the Halo main theme and the Halo 4 main theme represented, it also does have those Jameson Locke synth flares represented too. Oh, I recommend a full listen to this track. And with the follow-up game, Halo Infinite, well, that gear was welded to reverse. Oh, hang about. There's another game over here. Oh look, it's Halo Wars 2. Yes, the sub-series got a follow-up. And we have a composer team of Gordy Hab, Brian Trifon, and Brian Lee White from Finishing Move. Now, earlier I mentioned that I was curious to see if that more analytical twist would be present in the sequel. While the team did want to do their own thing when it came to crafting the overall score, they made an effort to weave back in some recognizable Halo traits. And with this being a follow-up, yes, one created by a different team and made 7 years later, they still wanted to keep a resemblance to that main Halo Wars theme led by the piano. Which is heard in the main menu theme but more clearly in the track Recommissioned. And while we don't get a return of that more computer-based analytical vibe, we get maybe a more mournful one that weighs more on the tone of war. But this piano does bring to mind the player's cogs turning. Like the echoed beats after the main thud sounds like the noises of a stopwatch millisecond arm ticking away. To me, it feels like a more weighted version of Halo Wars' main theme, which I believe was the right call for a sequel of this caliber. Music can really get a clear message across of, we're taking this game seriously, allowing players to do the same. Alright, let's find out where Halo Infinite has landed. Oh, interesting. Everything here looks like a more detailed version of the same landscape. And so many basalt hexagons. It's like it's calling back to the first game, but doing its own thing. That gear stick in reverse has done numbers to the helmet. Look at the design style. So green and boxy again. Yes, it seems like with Halo Infinite, the art style is even calling back to the comfy greens of the original trilogy. And its main theme, Zeta Halo, really brings it all the way back, but leans into the grandeur of monks and nuns. Yes, you won't hear a piano, strings, or even a large cymbal crash. It's just the chief and the cathedral choir. Yes, newcomer duo Curtis Schwarzer and Gareth Coker are in full homage mode, with a fixation on that ancient, mysterious direction, with the game story returning back to the main setting of the Halo ring, one scorned by its past with chunks missing, a worn, far older world than previous rings. It's quite the interesting choice to peel back the Halo theme to a soul stem like this, but it works for the lore of the world, and a good use of nostalgia and the main part of that theme that's translated beyond the game. Now, the rest of the score does bring back those other aspects of the main theme when one is exploring and battling across the Zeta Halo, so it is all there, but it still has this reserved nature to it, almost translating to the long battle our protagonist has been a part of. He's past the peak of his day, and the sun is getting closer to the horizon. We've reached our final destination, but by the looks of it, it's not landed yet. It's still in space. Well, we may have to go up and take a closer look. But before we have a sneak peek at what this all-new remake sounds like, let's listen to the previous time this game and its sequel were remade, or remastered, as both their scores got the remastered treatment too. This score was recomposed by Paul Lipson, Tom Salter, Brian Tryfon, and Lenny Moore. If you are a very long-time viewer, yes, ones from the before times from my other channel, you'll know that last name. Yes, the man responsible for creating my favourite video game score of the time. But that's a video for another day. With this main theme, while it stays incredibly faithful, it allows itself to bring in some of the more electrical elements found throughout the first game's score. Which feels like a nice addition. And some of the pacing and mini melodies between the more recognizable themes are fun to catch. It's a far clearer version of the beloved theme that makes it feel more full. It's not trying to replace it by any means, but it's giving it a light variance to match the rest of the remaster's bumping clarity. For the 2014 Halo 2 remaster, the same audio team were back, along with returning electric guitar shredder Steve Vai, who re-shredded his iconic guitar with all new whines, flailing, and just chaotic chords. Along with the clearer main theme in the background, it makes for an all-new way to listen to this now ancient theme. Honestly, I have no idea which version I prefer. I feel like this remaster blends the guitar and bass track to a more professional extent, but I do miss some specific guitar cries from before. But I guess that's exactly the experience of a remaster. Well, it's time to leave the Alpha Halo and launch off to experience the main theme for Halo Campaign Evolved. And for that, we're listening to the theme from the Early Access main menu, and well, it's a far more faithful version of the 1999 theme. In fact, it sounds like, if anything, it's only been remastered, like the EQ has been fiddled with. Yes, it's Halo Combat Evolved the way you remembered it, now with your ears cleaned out. So, with all we've listened to, and looking back at... Oh no, don't do that. Well, that's broken the illusion. But what was your favourite theme? What version plays in your head? I think Halo 3's Finish the Fight will always be a high point for me. But that electric shredding is so damn cool. But yes, do let me know below. For our next video, we're taking a look at another masculine mascot, but for the PlayStation. As next time on Under the Tunes. I really appreciate all the love you guys gave the Star Fox video. It really gave me a boost to try new things with these visuals. Now, stick around, as next up in the extracurricular video, we're taking a look at the live action stuff, the highs, the lows, and quite frankly, the disappointments. But yes, this second video is the scrappy brother. The production value is the size of a copper penny, which brings in a very different style, which I do quite enjoy. So do give it a watch. And like always, please share, subscribe, oh yes, and like. And I'll see you next time under the tunes.